Oh, mon ami, bonjour, comment allez-vous? C'est les incroyables. À l'Allemagne, das ist ein lustig Lied, ein lustiges Lied. Ich bin offen kommen singen mit mir, ein lustiger Lied für dich. In Czech ist le grazie pisan, bueno bando, fica do vedo, le grazie pisan, for the key, it's a silly sound, and I hope that you
So when we first started touring, it was just the Ginger Ninjas and Cello Joe, basically, just a couple bands, and we would just go to different cities and set up in plazas and play, and that was what we did for a couple tours. And then it seemed like there should be a better way of activating the local communities, the local cycling communities and the local music communities, and getting everybody interested in pedal-powered sound and touring by bicycle and living by bicycle. A better way than just a band trying to spread the message.
We pick up the flowers when we were in the mountains, but now they are dead. They are dead. Look, they are dead, but they are still alive. They are still here.
Now let's do a little bit faster. This is a silly song, and I hope that you will sing along. It's a silly song for you. A little bit faster, it's a silly song.
Originally, I was found by the tour because the tour began in my office. I was the office queen for Extra Cycle, which makes our bicycles long and makes it possible for us to carry these huge amounts of baggage. So after the first 5,000 miles, I quit my job and joined the tour, and living the dream. I've had this passion for this long bike and its ability to let me live without a car. For me, it's half about that, and it's half about investing in my body. I'm 55 years old. I am 15 years older than the oldest other person on the tour, and what it does for my body is simply amazing. It's easy. Sometimes I get a little ache and pain, fall, a bruise, but let me tell you, you mostly fall when you're going too slow.
I feel the tour overall it hasn't been like that hard as you may think it is. Like on riding the bike so loaded, we have taken like enough time. Just the last part has been pretty hard up the Pyrenees, but I think this proves you that everybody can do something like this. You just need to be wanting to do it. You decide. Because there's people that think from the beginning, oh, I will never be able to do something like that, but because they just give up from the beginning.
So if the macabre thing's happening, does that mean we're not doing anything in Arctic tonight?
I would prefer, let's see, I'm gonna, because they're gonna do something in Alcatraz on Saturday night after the meeting, so it would be better to maybe go to Macabre.
What time is the cabaret tonight?
So I have to confirm with Carlos, but I think at 9, 9:30, something like that.
Okay. with a head on a bicycle or something. So yeah, so tomorrow afternoon I'll be hanging out at Alcatraz doing art stuff, basically.
Cool.
Like,
I'm not sure we've met. Paul.
Kevin.
Hey Kevin.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Are you with the?
Yes, I have joined the Pleasant Revolution, but I only joined 2-3 weeks ago. And before that I was in San Francisco all summer.
Okay.
The Bicycle Music Festival is a way for people to plug in who wouldn't normally know how to plug in. It's a way for people to start thinking about creating a pedal-powered sound system and to really build the infrastructure so that even when the Pleasant Revolution leaves a town, there's going to be inspiration and know-how and experience for creating more bicycle music events. And that is really the inspiration of doing bicycle music festivals in city after city after city, so that those cities we leave, they keep making bicycle music festivals, and the musicians are turned on to bicycles, the cyclists are turned on to incorporating music into their rides and their lives, and in that way we spread the ideas of bicycles being really useful and really cool in the cities. And so in Barcelona, we were fortunate enough to hook up with Christian Weber, who was trying to organize a 350.org event, and he became our local contact. So in every city we try to find a local who will take on the task of organizing the complete bicycle music festival, and we'll just come, bring our pedal-powered sound system, bring our know-how, bring our 5 bands, and they will get a whole bunch of local bands, figure out the route of the festival, figure out the venues and everything like that, and we'll work together to collaborate to produce the event.
Networks and horse creeks stuck in the stove. Spices up the hungry man and throws a dog a bone. Listens to the gathering wind and wonders where it's blown. Told his best friend, I think I'll always be alone. Mackenzie River Valley was crying. Lou was on North Bank watching the Osprey. Watches the beaver talk and turn to a babe. Talks to her black dog, wonders and prays. Why is the winter sky always so green? Find me a woman in the ring of my life. Find me a woman I spend my life with her. Find me someone to call my man. Find me someone that'll have to play with him.
I'm coming to return your flute. I got your flute in a bag on the back of my bike. I'm coming to return your flute. I'm coming to return this passion. I'm coming to return. I'm coming to return. Hey, hey.
My name is Paul Friedman. My performing name is Fossil Fool. I'm here as a pedal power expert and innovator and inventor and troubleshooter. And then I'm also here as a performer. I sing and rap, and I have written a number of raps about bikes and bike culture, and then also just daily life. For myself, and I think for a lot of the people on the tour, we are fascinated with the idea of being completely self-sufficient. So that's why we emphasize things like pedal power and bicycling and not relying on fuel, and maybe living a lifestyle that is a little bit less heavy on money. So like we feed ourselves on €5 a day, and I know that was one of the things that really drew me, because I live in a city that's very busy and very cash intensive. So San Francisco, you know, my rent is $1,000 a month, and there was something that was just gnawing at me, like what if I could take my whole thing and just compress it into one bicycle? So that's why I built the Blue Whale. And the Blue Whale, you know, you can open up the speaker and put your sleeping bag inside it and store all the cables and the batteries inside it and then ride. And I think a lot of people also a lot of people on the tour are fascinated with like this time in history as it pertains to the rise in civilization, and maybe like people are questioning whether we can continue to grow in the way that we have, which is so much about consumption and materialism and production and economy, and whether that's going to continue or whether we're going to cruise or whether we're going to crash or whatever. And I think that that's one of the things that when people see us in a square, they're like, it subconsciously touches them in a certain place. They're like, oh, these guys are doing something that's independent, you know, and like whatever we say, they might be more open to it.
Bands don't think about being able to carry their stuff around town with bicycles, and they see us doing it on the day of the festival, and I think for some of them light bulbs happen. For others they're like, who the hell are you guys and why the hell are you doing this? But for some they really make the connection, and a lot of people, the thing about the Bicycle Music Festival is then you have all the bike advocates activated, you have all the environmental activists, you have the community activists, you have the squatters, and you have just the public.
I have a business, and I have been focusing on my business for 8 years before I decided to make a little bit of a break and explore other ways of living, because I don't want to only do one thing for my whole life. And so how do you in my case, like, my business is still running. I have teammates who are there answering emails and phone calls. Sometimes they email me, I get it on my BlackBerry, and it's a little strange to be in the woods in Spain, in the Pyrenees, eating mushrooms that we foraged. 3 different types of mushrooms, some of them with caps this big, and cooking them up on a campfire. And then my little Gmail rings, and I'm like, and it's someone from my office asking me a question about something mundane or exciting, whatever, but it's just like the connectivity is so bizarre right now that we are so connected. Even like in the Pyrenees eating mushrooms on the forest floor, we have cell phone access that can reach us, and we can reach the world.
You can only go 30 or 50 miles in a day, and you can't suddenly make up 200 miles because you stayed 3 days extra like you can if you're in a van. But sometimes we can worry about where we're going to sleep, because worrying about where we're going to sleep is part of the adventure. You keep playing my guitar and I'll keep singing like a bar. But I still need you now. I ain't done with you just yet. 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 I ain't done with you right now. I ain't done with you right now. I ain't done with you yet. I ain't done with you just yet. Well, I still need you now. 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 Yeah, I still need you now. I ain't done with you just yet. I ain't done with you just yet. Well, I need you a little longer. Won't you play a little stronger? I need you right here, and I need you right now.
Yeah, because it's the magic hour. The grapes are never sour, because I devour and take fruits and fields. For years and years I yield nothing but the top grade marijuana. And I want a girl named Wanda in the West Virginia mountains. Now I'm fucking my cousins and shouting. Yelling.
We were talking yesterday about freestyling and how that relates to like written songs. And actually that's one of the things I really like about being on tour, is it seems like every time we stop someone's gonna be wanting to do something. Like, it doesn't take long before Jared's got his bass out, and my maracas are always easy to grab, and so we can keep each other, you know, keep the mood up by just spending some time on music.
That is kind of cool, y'all. Hey, I'm gonna hit some buttons. And if it's too soft, then I use this knob. And now I kind of feel like soloing, so I'm gonna hit the ARP. And I'm gonna do this.
Now controls the speed, yeah. C.
I'm Ed Montgomery, and I play in the band, Kipchoge's band, the Ginger Ninja Band, saxophone. I've known Kipchoge. Well, I met Kipchoge when he was 24, but I actually am his biological father. So, although I don't know, it's a long story. But we met first time when he was 24, and he met my daughter, his half sister, at the same time, and that was really a deep experience. And since then we've become good friends, really close, and we had similar interests, peculiarly enough, music for one, and political action for another, and the combining of those in music also, and then in bicycle riding, which I was already into when I met him. There's coincidences that happen quite regularly, often just meeting people and who we meet, and us meeting each other so often, just showing up in town when somebody's been separated for 3 days, and then they're there at the same exact moment we arrive at the square of that town. Just for me, I use it in a way to satisfy my own outlook on life, that it just proves that. It doesn't prove anything really, but as a joke, I use it to prove that there's no need for a supreme being, because randomness itself creates enough serendipitous unions and joinings and collisions and combinations of atoms and so on, that life, the way we know it, could evolve could easily evolve by chance. We're going through the land that doesn't look like it's collapsing at all. It looks fabulous. It's unbelievably beautiful, and it's a hard to make the leap over this disconnect, and I know it's even harder for people that don't think about it at all, don't think about environmental problems at all, and those are kind of the people we want to win, governments especially.
Cars.
He's here!
You made it, little buddy!
Of course I made it, did I?
10-10.
Although we do have some bad news.
My name is Jared May. I'm the bassist with the Pleasant Revolution Tour, and I've been touring with the Ginger Ninjas and the Pleasant Revolution since February '08, off and on, but I've been on every tour, and I just joined this one kind of late. I'm just doing the last 2 months. I'm coming from Florida. I'm from Florida, but I live in Northern California, near Berkeley, in the San Fran Bay Area. I guess we're going to Southampton after Spain. Even if we go to Portugal or not, we're going to come back and then go to Southampton and then play in the UK and then take the boat back to New York, play in New York, and then after that, I guess I'm going to cruise back to Cali, maybe go home and see my family in Florida for a little while, see my mom and dad, my brothers and my sister and my niece and my nephew who are all in Florida, visit them on the way to California. It's not really on the way, but it could be. So, and then back to Cali, and then if Kipchoge does another tour, maybe he'll ask me to go again. Maybe I'll be able to, maybe I won't, you know, depends.
My name's Kipchoge. I'm the singer for the Ginger Ninjas. The Ginger Ninjas have been going in some form or other for, wow, like 9 years maybe. The Ginger Ninjas play a kind of music. The Ginger Ninjas play a style called Mind Shakin' Love Groove, Folk Funk, Roots, Explosive, International, Pedal-Powered Mountain Music for a Pleasant Revolution. Yeah, right now we're in Spain. We're heading north. It's getting on to winter time almost. Feels cold and gotta go chase the sun. Take a little break also. We've been on the road for 7 months, and sometimes it feels like we could just keep going forever, and sometimes it feels like we can't ever do it again.
My name is Joey Chang, and I also go by Cello Joe because I play the cello. My kind of music that I play is what I call classical hip-hop, because I do beatboxing and I play the cello at the same time. So, inspiration for the music is social justice, environmental responsibility, and fun.
Ignorance is bliss, and the TV kills our consciousness. Ignorance is bliss, and the TV kills our consciousness. Ignorance is bliss, and the TV kills our consciousness. So work, earn, shop and buy. We're gonna work and earn, shop and buy. We gotta work, earn, shop and buy, and obey all the signs. And I play guitar, created a style called scratch guitar, which is based on live looping. It's a solo performance that I started working on about 10 years ago, and 8 years ago I decided to do music full-time. So I've been doing music as my full-time source of income and livelihood for the last 8 years. And shortly before this tour, I was contacted by the Pleasant Revolution and asked if I wanted to participate and come along on this European tour. And so they told me what it was about. It sounded amazing, and so I decided to come.
I'm Mike Cobb, and I'm the mechanic. And I've been with this tour since the beginning in California. And I think we provide an important visual statement of what's possible with human power. We don't even have to say anything, we just have to cruise around on our bikes and play music, and there's instant inspiration, I feel.
I'm Skat. I'm a trumpetist and singer. I was traveling before with a friend, and we were making a puppet show by bike too. I made the music of the show, and we prepared the show together, and we ride a lot together. like globetrotters, not globetrotters, but glock. We slept everywhere with our camping tent too. And we finished our trip in Marseille, and just when we finished our trip, one day after we arrived at our destination, I met all this band, the Pleasant Revolution, and I asked them if I can come with them for play music and things, and they say yes.
So he could be his queen.
It's the most common repair job is probably adjusting the rear derailleur. Long cable runs and sort of abusive cables. Bikes fall over a lot. Bend the cables and bend the housing. But I've also replaced a lot of spokes, as you might imagine. No matter what kind of bike you have, with these loads, you have to ride with finesse or else you'll break spokes.
With my other show, with my friend Lucy from Lyon, we were making a puppet show, as I told you, and it was a politic thing for like speak of the capitalism and the consequences of this on the environment, with the pollution, with the energy, you know, like power plant energy, who is we don't know what happened with the garbage of the nuclear things, and we were like showing to people that together we can make another world. And yes, when I meet the Pleasant Revolution, it was cool because they are in the same fight, you know. And like us, with Lucy, we were doing this in a pacifist way, by a puppet show, but now I'm continuing with the music.
So my name's Thomas, or as I'm called on tour, Tomas Spellman. And I've been playing guitar with the Ginger Ninjas since February, I think, just a few months. And I went on a tour last fall with the Pleasant Revolution as the electrical engineer. And so now I'm doing both the electrical engineering and playing guitar as well. I noticed that they were having quite a few technical problems with their system. Things weren't working the way that they were supposed to. And I offered them some suggestions. And then at some point, Kipchoge invited me on as the electrical engineer. So by that point, I was already kind of daydreaming about the possibility of doing something like this. And I'd heard about them planning a European tour. So I was kind of having fun just imagining what it would be like. And so when Kipchoge invited me to come on board, I was hesitant because it seemed like such a challenging thing to do, but at the same time there's no way I could say no.
What can I say about Bike Tour that I can't say about Manifest Destiny? We're gonna get there, and we're gonna cover it all, and we're gonna go all the way. And I don't think Kipchoge's ever gonna stop. I think that man's gonna keep pedaling until his feet fall off. Probably. I mean, I will.
My very first Pleasant Revolution tour was Mexico to Antigua, Guatemala. And this was my first tour ever on bicycle. So I it was actually in Guatemala the most difficult of tours. We were told before entering Guatemala, this is not a good place for bicycles, okay? don't go, turn around, like the border of Mexico, Chiapas. They said it's not a good idea. The main roads are very congested, it's very polluted. This we found out to be true. There's no good shoulder on the side of the road. This we found mainly to be true on the main roads. And so right away after getting to Guatemala, we changed routes to go over the mountains, okay? These are very steep mountains. We traveled once for 5 days, only up.
No me importa porque voy volando, bailando, cantando, tocando, pescando y sí amando. Sí amo, amo, sí amo. Mira como amo de la silla de mi bici. Mi silla es de cuero, mi trasero de acero. Bailando entre el tráfico, aventándose besitos. Mira como amo como ninja guitarrando. Mira como amo como ninja gingerando. Enrollándome en la magia de la calle.
Well, traveling by train has been like really challenging, extremely so, and painful. The train, not all the train systems in Europe are designed or friendly toward bikers, much less what we have, which is like mega bikes, you know, bikes that are longer and heavier than ordinary bikes, and on top of that carrying like, you know, between like 150 and 200 pounds of gear. Part of the challenge is the speed at which you have to either load or unload a train, everything from the train, and just in the time it takes for the doors to open and shut. And it has happened where the doors shut and, you know, people weren't even fully off the train. That happened to Brock once. He saying the door shut and he was halfway out the door with his bike, and so it shut on the bike and him. And it happened to me as well. I was helping someone get on the train in England, and I was helping them get on, and then the doors closed behind me, and my bike and everything I owned was outside the train. Fortunately, however, it was there was just 4 of us traveling to London from Brighton, I believe. Fortunately, 2 of the other members of the tour were outside the train, Thomas and Buck, and they were able to put everything on the train. That they saw what happened, and they put all my stuff on the train. And, you know, I met them at London Bridge, and it was okay, but it could have potentially been disastrous.
Soft hills and mountains, trails to food. No large machines needed to sustain the good. I got my sweet potato and the kind of living meal. Grill up those veggies, please, on a campfire grill. There ain't nothing else I need to get on my way. Sit down for a few of the time of the day. Sit down for a steal for a better life, babe.
My mind is a moving ocean, so affected by the tides. I ask, can I find some peace from all the chaos I abide? And it says I can't help but move in waves, take on parts of the shore, but redistribute it in ways makes more sense than before.
In Barcelona we stayed in a squat called Alcatraz, which I understood was only about a year old. And one of the most prominent things you notice when you walk in is that there's tons of really good graffiti, lots to look at, lots of different styles, all over the walls. It looks like they just let the graffiti artists go nuts. But there's also a lot of circus arts going on, and a lot of people playing music, and like a lot of squats in a commercial space, an industrial commercial space. This one was a building that was condemned, as in it wasn't safe to occupy. The roof, the cinder block roof, was super leaky. We found out one rainy night, and anyway, I think it was my favorite squat, full of really friendly, sweet people who always said hi to you, and seemingly the drugs that were consumed there were of the more benign variety. I didn't detect any heroin or anything scary like that. So that's kind of a common experience to stay in a squat when we're in the city.
So yeah, squats is really interesting how bad and how great they can be, the great extremes. And this group seemed to have a board of directors. They had classes going all the time. You could learn trapeze, you could learn juggling, clown, you could learn tightrope walking. And a girl that was traveling with us from Vienna, and one of the girls from our group, Kelly, who was injured, they went ahead of everybody else, and they got there, and Christine became a part of it. She had this dream to work with a circus, to be a circus performer. And so we get there, and she's found her dream.
And then between cities, it seems like about 80% of the time we guerrilla camp. And that is, we find a place to hide 14 or 16 people and 14 or 16 cargo bikes. And then we try to leave before we spend too much time in the light in the morning, and we leave little or no trace. And I'm really happy that this group is so guerrilla camping compatible, because it really liberates our schedule and allows us to gracefully adjust our destination as things come up. With 16 people, mechanical things and body things come up, and so to not stress out about needing to be at an official campsite at a certain time is really powerful.
Because it's expensive and what we're doing, we're not making that much money, so we have this policy: we never pay to stay. And very often we enjoy hospitality, usually in a city. We have prepared in advance, and we get to stay with people. Because, you know, really and truly, if you want to make reservations somewhere and go and stay in a nice place, you can't even be sure that you're going to make it.
Always an adventure. You never know what ends up going inside the food, but sometimes we maybe get some ants in there, sometimes some spiders, but overall I think we got pretty crafty in cooking in the dark, in campsites, and especially we've been really enjoying cooking, like with the bonfire and everybody gathering. Sometimes we have to use our little camp stoves. Sometimes it has been an adventure because there was no camp stove, so we ended up making sandwiches. Sometimes we don't eat, sometimes we eat what people donate us, so it's an improvisation. Last night was good though, right? Yeah, it was great. Last night we had salad, very good salad, and millet with beans. It was tasty. We had even some for lunch.
I used to travel, and it's my first time I travel like that, like by bike. You really take the time, and you have time to see around and to feel and to smell. There is different odor, different landscape, different. And you don't feel it when you are in the car, when you are in the train, when you are in the bus. When you are in the bike, you have a real contact with the context, with what there is around you, and you have time to see. You can stop. You can. It's my first time by bike, and before for me it was I had friends who used to go for weekend, for holidays by bike, and for me I was like, they're crazy, how can you do that? And finally I crossed the Pyrenees by bike, and I don't know, if you told me 1 month ago you will cross the Pyrenees by bike, no, I don't think so. And finally I did it. You just have to decide it. Everybody can do what they really want to do. If you decide at one point, you just have to take the decision, and it's all the things, it's in the mind.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Sometimes I wish I could close your eyes, kiss your ears and fill them up with lies about how I saved the world by killing almost every single bad guy. And we all have little doors that only open from the inside. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I'm standing naked in the thunder, and I hope I'm struck by lightning. Blast me back to consciousness and grapple with the tightening. And I wonder if the rain will ever wash all of this dirty hate away. And we all have little doors that only open from the inside. And we all have little doors that only open when we're good and ready. Falling, 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 ooh. Falling, 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 ooh. Falling, 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 and there's no end. I met a pixie in the forest, and she knew what I had done. She forgave me instantly and made me wanna run and kiss the world over and over and over and over again. Oh yeah, and kiss the world over and 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 over again. Buscando los brazos de mi amor, y voy solito caminando, buscando los brazos de mi amor.